Hey, Brian here at Benevolent Tech, coming back for Tech Tuesday. This week, we're going to talk about landing page services, specifically landing page builders. A lot of you may not even know what a landing page builder is. So, to start off real quick introduction. A landing page builder is an online service that lets you really quickly and easily create one-page websites. And these websites are carefully optimized for one thing and one thing only, and that is converting visitors to customers. So what you'll notice about a lot of these services is they have templates. Some of them are really good. Some of them are just okay. And they're very simple. The idea is that you try to eliminate all of the distractions from the page to allow the visitor to follow your path and not get distracted and fall off your path, which by path I mean listing the benefits and then compelling them to commit to it, the next step, whatever that next step may be a donation or a sale or an inquiry. So let's dive right in. So we're actually going to talk about the top 5 landing page builders that I know of. The first being Instapage, second Unbounce, then Leadpages, then Pagewiz, and Wishpond, in no particular order. So let's jump right into Instapage.
All right, let's start by creating a new page. Let's pick a template. Notice that there's filters on the top. Lead generation is where you have a form very prominently displayed up front. Two-step is very similar, except instead of a form, you have a button that opens a pop-up that has a form. This, according to research, is a lot more effective, has a much higher conversion rate for converting visitors to customers. So it's kind of a good idea if you can incorporate it in your designs. Take a look at this template, it looks pretty good. Let's choose this one. Call it test page. All right. So, cool. Now we're in the editor mode. Take a look at that menu on the right. You can click any one of these text fields if you want and edit them. You can edit a button, make it link to a pop-up, and then you can edit the pop-up directly. So that's pretty cool. You can create A/B tests. So an A/B test is where you test 2 different versions of the same page at the same time, and then see which one collects the best metrics, so which one converts the best. Click Save, Publish. So this gives you an option to create a demo page. Cool. Now you see it on your list of pages. Let's take a look at the analytics for this page that I already made, just to give you an idea of what the analytics look like. Then clicking back into the test again, I wanted to show you a cool feature. So you can click anywhere on the page and add comments. So this is great for collaboration. If you want to try to make changes and have an approval process, this is really awesome. It's kind of similar to another app called Envision app, if anybody's ever heard of that. But it's built in, so that's really nice. So then I also want to show you another really cool feature that is unique to Instapage. Well, Instapage is the only one that comes with its standard, and it's built in, and that's called heat maps. And it's kind of hard to see in this because there hasn't been much traffic to the page, but you notice that blue right there? It shows you where people are spending the most time on the page. So not only do they convert, but what parts of the page give you the most attention. All right, so now we're going to take a look at Unbounce. We're going to create a new page. These are some of the templates. You can filter, sort by popular, filter by blank, blah. You can preview just like you could for Instapage. I had to decrease the size of the window to make it fit. So this is a much heavier duty editor here. You can edit pages just like you could in Instapage. You can edit the buttons. You can make the buttons link to pop-ups, and that's what I'm doing right now. adding an email field. So this is how you could create a pop-up. One way you could create a pop-up within the page editor called a lightbox. And then in that way, the way I just showed you, you can create a variant. We're going to just change some text a little bit here. So variants are used for split testing. And now if you go back, you can now see that test page show up here on all pages. And I'm going to show you a page I already made so you can see a little bit of analytics and what it looks like. All right, so now we're going to talk about convertibles. A convertible is similar to a page, except it's like a pop-up. But this can be site-wide. That's what makes it really cool. So it can be triggered by not just a button on a page, but it can also be triggered by events on the page. A visitor comes to it, there's a delay, they scroll down, or maybe they're trying to leave. Show you some of these integrations here. Now let's preview this one that I already made. This is the default template that's kind of like a demo. The close button doesn't work in the preview mode. All right, let's try making a new one. So you can create a sticky bar or an overlay. That one looks pretty good. Sweet templates here. All right, now we got this sweet editor. I resized the page again to see all the buttons. Very similar to the page editor. Very consistent experience here. All right, so now let's talk about Leadpages. So here's your list of pages here. We're going to create a new one. Take a look at their templates. Notice that you can filter by use case, which is a little different than the others. Take a look at some of these templates they have. Personal opinion, they aren't quite as good as Unbounce or Instapage, but still pretty good. Call it test page. All right, so really nice editor, possibly the best of the editors I've seen. You can really easily create new pop-ups called lead box. You could reuse existing lead boxes. You can also just embed another lead page if you want. You can also create new lead boxes on the spot. So if you disconnect that, new lead box starts you off with a default template. Pretty good default template too. Nice. All right, let's preview that real quick. Save, publish. Cool. You can click try it out, which will open it in a new tab, the demo page. Cool. Exit, go back home. So let's check out split test now. Let's create a new one with our new page. So one thing I'm going to comment is that this process of duplicating a page is a little buggy. If you just keep clicking things, they tend to work, but it can be a little weird. And then after you create it, you have to publish it before it'll be ready for split. And if you do it too quickly, then it complains, so you have to wait a second. So now we're good. So I just created a copy of the first page, and that's test page variation. Click next, click next. Check out the settings, click start. All done. All right, so now let's take a look at marketing page, which is one I already did, just to give you an idea of what the stats look like. Notice that there's not month by month or day by day analytics unlike competitors. All right, on to lead boxes, which are kind of like lead pages, but they're pop-ups that can be site-wide. Pretty cool. So it can trigger on things like where people are scrolled on the page or exit intent. And then lead links, just showing you what these are real quick. and then lead digits. Couple cool extra features specific to Leadpages. Alright, so looking at Pagewiz, this is the dashboard. Clicking Pages, this lists your pages. You can only have one activated at a time in the demo, so we're going to unpublish it one. Create a new one. You can create a mobile or desktop, which I find a little confusing because the desktop templates are not super mobile friendly. So I guess they want you to create a separate one for each. Let's choose this one. Show you preview. Cool. Decent editor. Not the best in class, but it's functional. Not really any fancy frills with Pagewiz compared to some of the competition, but it's also a lot cheaper. Showing you how you can create forms. So you're not going to see an option to create a pop-up easily, by the way. That's kind of what I meant. You can go back to the dashboard now. So then it takes you to step 3, because we haven't done this before. And then after you click Save and Publish, then you can now see the dashboard for the page. All right, so now let's look at optimization. So optimization is where you do split testing. So we can add a new variant here, create it from the current page. You can assign a percentage, but first we can design it if you want. Change the text. Let's remove the second 2. Click Save and then go back to the dashboard. And now let's assign a percentage to it, which means how often it gets selected between the variants. So now let's look at some new features that the Pagewiz has. Leads, so it can track your leads. And it can also show you your domains there. And that's it. Looking at Wishpond now. So let's start by creating a new template, which is our new page, which is called a campaign. Take a look at some of their templates here. This one looks pretty nice. Let's call it test page. You can click any field and you can add new fields using this dialog. You can edit that form right there. You can also create variations. You can create a duplicate, as many variations as you want for split testing. Publish. Cool, we're live. You can also edit buttons and create pop-ups. So this one links to a thank you page right now, and you can see that it links to a page pop-up, and then if you click the edit, you can open a pop-up if you want. And we've created some already, so you can just select open one of those pop-ups. You can also create a new one from here. So let's click Save. Preview. Looks pretty good. All right, let's go back to home. We can see our variations here. You can see that they're being split tested right now. Wanted to show you this, that the pop-up you created doesn't show up here, which is a little funky. It should, but I guess they just haven't gotten around to implementing that yet. So now you see the page. Cool. You also see some pop-ups there. So now I'm showing you that it also has some lead tracking here, which is better than most of the others when it comes to lead tracking. I usually recommend, and even for this I recommend hooking up an external service for lead tracking, but this one's not terrible. And then we have some automation ability here with email. So one thing about Wishpond is that it has email automation, which is just okay. So that wraps it up for the introduction to these services. If you're curious about a comparison of features, check out our blog post. Thanks.